my channel. So today we discuss about ASP.NET Core, right? Yesterday we have discussed about environment variables in ASP.NET Core, and today we have discussed about how can we use MVC, right, model view and controller in our ASP.NET Core application, right? So there are several ways to create application in ASP.NET Core, right? So I mentioned three here. First one is Web API, second one is Razor Pages, and third one is Model View Controller. So in Web API, we have we need only model and controller, right? And in Razor Pages, we need only CS HTML pages and CS file. And in Model View Controller, we need model, view, and controller. Three we need for follow the MVC architecture, right? So since we are using an empty template, so we can convert our empty template to any one, right? This template or other several template, right? So in this tutorial, basically we are going to create our application on model, view, and controller pattern, right? And in our next video, we create on Razor Pages and Web APIs, right? So first, let's open our application. I have basically already created ASP.NET Core application. This is empty one, which I've already created yesterday for environment variable. So let's use the same. So first of all, in a startup file, there are two methods, right? First one is ConfigureServices method and second one is configure method. So in configure method, we have added only a middleware, right? Or environment variable and cookies and session, right? We have added in configure method. But in ConfigureServices method, we have injected our dependencies here. In ConfigureServices method, we have injected our dependencies for this application. So today we discuss about service.AddController with views, right? In this application, we have to discuss about how to use MVC in ASP.NET Core application. So in this video, we have discussed only AddController with views, and in next video, we discuss about add Razor Pages and add MVC and add controllers, right? So in service.add Razor Pages, when we need to add create Razor Pages, so we have to add.Razor Pages, and when we have to create and follow the MVC architecture pattern, model, view, and controller, so we have to add controller with views or service.add.MSC. Both work will same way, right? In same way. So and if we use API controller, right? If you want to create an API, so you can use only controller. So you have to access a controller and models, right? So in service.add.controller view, let's right click on this and go to definition. So in definition, you can see I'm just expanding the definition. Here summary is add service for controller. Yeah, right, is third one. So summary is add service for controller for a specific Microsoft dependency injection, right? This method will not register with use this pages, right? So basically here we have injected our model, view, and controller, right? So this feature and this method configure the MVC services for the commonly used features with controllers, right? This method basically used for MVC when we want to create MVC pattern or MVC architecture, so we have to use add controller with views, right? And add MVC will work in same way, but we will discuss in next video, right? What are the basic difference between add MVC and add controller with views, right? So I have already written the service dot add controller with views, and I have already created a, you have just created a folder, right, empty folder, and in that folder just created a controller, right, is controller. You can create that in same way, and I've already created, and its a default will be home controller. So in that controller I have already written a method, right, public string and index, right, and return will be welcome, right. So when we run our application, so it will return welcome. Okay, so I'm just running our application. So let's see what happened when we running our application. So it should be print welcome, right, and output will be welcome. So it's a production, right, because yesterday we had discussed about environment variable. So I have written already this code, but in this code we don't need this code, so I'm just commenting this code, and I have already written endpoint dot map default controller root, right. This will be pick the default controller root, right. Default will be, let's go to definition and check. So in this method there will be root has been defined, right. Root will be controller name is home, action is index, and ID is optional. Question mark is optional sign, right. If we so controller name is home and action is index. So this is a pattern to route our URL in this way. If you have to create some other controller, right, like any A, B, C, any controller name, so you have to mention here controller equal to home, then your action name, and your ID optional. I already told that. So here this is the default. We have default home controller and action is index. So if you want to change the controller, or you have to add new controller name, so you have to mention here the root, right. So I have commented this code and just run the application again and check what happening, what will be the output, right. So output will be welcome, right, output will be welcome. So in this way you can check in how can we add controller with views, how can we add MVC. In next video we discuss out add.mvc and add.controller, right. In web API we have used add.controller. So today we discuss only add controller with views. In next video we discuss about these three